All right, so thank you everyone. Towards the end of the day, it gives me great pleasure. My name is Gary, so I look after fintech and innovation for Alibaba Cloud for our regional function. So I cover Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, and the Philippines. So today, I'm going to share a bit about what we see, right, especially around the journey towards digital banking and also open banking being a big part of what being digital means. So hopefully today I can share a bit of experience, both directly within the Philippines and also in the what I call the Pan-Asia context. Just a bit of a quick background as well. The relationship of Alibaba Cloud in the context of financial services. So what you see here is the overview of us, right? Alibaba Cloud being the cloud computing arm, AI arm, and big data arm of Alibaba Group. And what we effectively do is we work together with the various business units within our global operations. And then in the context of financial services, we work closely with our partners at Ant Group. So what we effectively do is then we perform the commercialization of the products for our enterprise customers. So we provide cloud and data technology, fintech services, and other what we call sort of consumer-led type of technology. So what you see through Alibaba Cloud is actually not just what we're usually known for in terms of our infrastructure, but what you start to see is a lot more of our vertical offerings, right, that are able to do a lot more plug and play in the context of, especially now, in the digital era. You don't really want to build everything from scratch, going from 0 to 1 every single time. What we want to do is help you to build that up quickly, efficiently, so that you can scale up from 1 to 100. That's really the key objective, right? Because Alibaba is about helping everyone to make it easy to do business everywhere in the world. And then in particular in Asia and in the Philippines, you may have already read the news that we have launched our Philippines data center, and together with our Singapore and other Asia data centers, it provides fantastic low cost and reliable resources for our Philippines financial services partners, startup, fintech ecosystem, so on. So with 25 regions across the world with over 80 data centers, we certainly want to demonstrate that we are focusing in the region. We are spending large investments in the Philippines and also in Asia Pacific. Okay, digital banking is great, open banking is great, but what underpins it is definitely regulatory compliance. So where we put that as the utmost importance, the way we look at compliance is through the global lens, regional lens, and also industry lens. So not only do we have the local, for example, in the Philippines or in Hong Kong or in Singapore, we will comply to the local, for example, financial services industry related certifications. We also look at what the regional have specific standards that we need to align to. And of course, there are also the global standards, such as the ISO standards or the SOC standards, etc. Now, what makes Alibaba Cloud that little bit more different from what you see outside is that we, from the earlier slides that I showed you, we effectively become the commercialization and also the what I call the technology export arm of our Alibaba Group. And as a result, by leveraging the same controls of our regulatory compliance, security and privacy, network availability and latency, scalability and reliability, and of course our disaster recovery and backup capability, we're able to create a set of industry solutions that you can effectively plug and play and put it into your own environment such that you get the benefits of what we've built up over the last decade with our own financial services arms, but without having to reinvent the wheel. And here's just a quick overview of the way we look at financial services. So very similar, it's no different to the way our customers looks at it. So from the context of the front to middle to back office. So we first have we focus on having the ability to onboard your customers through digital only manners. We service them via pure digital channels. And then agility at the core really talks about, giving you the right tools and platforms so that you can be agile as an organization. For example, your product sets, the way you do development, the way you communicate internally within an organization, and the way you communicate externally to your customers. It's giving you that flexibility as well. Third point, extremely important, especially in the open banking context, is that more and more players are now coming from non-financial services, and they're offering troves of insights. Now, this is insights in the context of what your customer is doing outside of your ecosystem. Could be from retailers, could be from logistics providers, could be from utilities companies, government, etc. Right? So your customer is doing a lot of things outside of financial services. Having said that, they do a lot of things that you may be interested in order to make great decisions or decisions that will help you to reduce losses, for example. So the ability to do AML, the ability to bring together data in a manner that is secure, that protects privacy, that enforces governance is extremely important. And then number 4 is really around the bread and butter of Alibaba Cloud. It is the robust infrastructure that we offer. For example, in the data center of Philippines, we have data center nearby. We have network connectivity, security solutions that help you to protect your overall environment so that you can really focus on the business scenarios in terms of the front, the middle, the back. Okay, I'm not going to go through every single point here, but really the point here that I want to show you is when we look at cloud, we don't just look at the infrastructure. We look at the way it gets used in both general solutions. So this is what you expect out of a typical cloud provider, but we also offer over 200 industry solutions, of which just for financial services, there's more than 20 to 30, depending on what you're looking for. As the last speaker, Jans, have mentioned before, we do have a lot of AI intelligence type of solutions as well that get used within the financial services context. So bringing this all together is really what Alibaba Cloud have seen our customers do in the Philippines and also in the nearby region. And I'll take you through some of what we've seen and some of what's been done to date. So across banking, securities, the insurance sector, the use of cloud is no longer a new thing. It's just a matter of how you go about using it. So different customers are now going all in, right? 100% going on cloud. We're talking about banks, securities firms, insurance, etc. So, but what are they looking for? So around the compliance aspects that I talked about, and they really, I think the other point is around that scalability and flexibility. It is as and when your business grows, the cost of your infrastructure spend will then grow, right? It's very different to the way we've traditionally been spending, right? We buy first, We do a 5-year predicted, some form of forecast, and we hope for the best. So having all of your resources on cloud, it allows you that flexibility that as and when you grow, your business grows, then your cost profile grows with you. And of course, that gives you a lot more options in terms of investment options. You can leverage our global network, for example, bringing together the Philippines, the Singapore, the other nearby data centers such as Hong Kong, to make use of not just the cloud infrastructure itself, but also some of our software as a service offering, some of our platform as a service offering that are near the Philippines data center. And of course, that we always have a mix. We offer pure public cloud-based infrastructure, but we also offer a private cloud offering, which allows you to take some of that cloud benefit, but put it onto on-premise for whatever reason that you require. We have that covered as well. Now, this is more on the infrastructure perspective. Of course, cross-border, yes. We're talking about you may have customers that situates around the world. For example, we have clients who services the FDW segment. So there are users of their services that are in the Middle East, that are in Hong Kong, and in the US. They're all looking to reach back to Philippines or to Singapore in terms of their services. Could be sending money back home, could be doing checking the balances of their own banking accounts, so on and so forth. So they're able to use our global backbone network that allows them to seamlessly experience like they've never left the Philippines. What's picking up as well in terms of the latest use cases, of course, it's the eKYC. It's the remote account opening. We're seeing large amount of transformation in this field through the use of eKYC, through the use of our AML offering as well to do anti-money laundering, and also tools and services that allows them to pick up what we call sort of the fraudulent type of transactions. In terms of AI and data, look, it cuts across multiple spectrum, but at the moment, probably the most popular type of use cases are more around the AI chatbot, the voice bot. For example, in Philippines, we are working with a major carrier who is working with us in terms of our English chatbot capability, with the next phase looking at introducing a mixed English and Tagalog chatbot and also voice bot through the use of natural language processing, speech recognition, and also text-to-speech capability. So that's really around the AI portion. And of course, I think with COVID lingering around, as though not going around, not leaving us anytime soon, having a great mobile offering is now the key in terms of servicing your customers. So we are having a lot of inquiries, a lot of momentum in terms of leveraging our mobile super app development platform called MPass, which is helping our customers to build their own super app, not just to migrate what they have existing from the existing app, but really it's to relook at the way we do business from a mobile only context. So from the way we develop, in terms of our mobile DevOps, to the way we monitor the performance of the app in terms of the quality, the response time, we're now moving towards being able to do behavioral analysis, providing contextual marketing. And really, at the end of the day, it's about helping our customers, first of all, do what they need to do. And second of all, help organization to retain and maximize the engagement on the mobile environment. Because the assumption here is that the more time your users are spending on them in the mobile environment, of course, the more likely they're going to transact with you in some form of monetary value. Lastly, is also related to the what I call the COVID driven pandemic environment, is that regulators around the world, in particular in the Asia context, are all quite worried about the well-being, first of all, of our employees. Second of all, the well-being of our customers, and third of all is actually how will mobile workforce or remote workforce continue to be able to have good controls over, for example, data security. So many of our customers are now looking at the way they collaborate remotely, and we have a DingTalk platform which is widely used around the world, and that we are rapidly expanding in the Asia Pacific region. And it provides enterprise-grade data security offering that allows you, for example, to control the way data is shared across the organization. It prevents, for example, misuse of documents that have been shared. For example, you know that if you share a document, for example, on WhatsApp or Viber, as soon as you download the document onto your phone, you've lost the data. So a lot of our customers say that they have really effective ways to do DLP across their physical machine. For example, they can block the USB port. Emails, they can deploy really good email filtering DLP tools, but instant messaging type of collaboration tools is where there's still a gaping hole. Okay, so the core value proposition of Alibaba Cloud in the context of financial services, I'm not going to spend too much time on talking about computing because it's more on our the way we do our infrastructure, but I just want to give you a quick overview how we support by giving you the elasticity that you need, right, to be digital native and to also be able to respond to rapid changes. So look, many numbers here, the benefits is very obvious, but it's really around giving you that platform so that you can innovate at speed, you're able to fail very fast, and it's also about reducing the cost of innovation and reducing the cost of trialing. So what that gives you is then a really strong foundation to start to participate in what we call the open ecosystem, because where does the word open comes from is really around, are you ready to work with and connect with, of course, financial institutions, and also what I mentioned before, a large number of non-financial institutions who will offer their services to you, either be part of your ecosystem. They could be a fintech, they could be other startups, they could be just e-retailers that have vast amount of what we call not specifically personal data, but more around the flags, right? And in terms of offering the ability for our own customers at their consent to for these other institutions to provide financial institutions with the way or how they've used the other platforms. For example, how many parcels on the logistics network, how many orders have they received in terms of a e-retailing platform. And all these are very powerful data that financial institutions can use, first of all, to build trust, second of all, to make great credit decisions that are validated with what I call non-traditional data sets. And these are just some of the examples, right? Like insurers such as AIA are able to use cloud-native infrastructure to revamp their app from an overall perspective. In the mainland of China, there is also Guangfa Bank, who effectively rebuilt their entire banking application and also their credit card application, as the credit card application is focused on the what we call the rewards, and also it's a lifestyle kind of offering. So you can see here some fantastic numbers in terms of peak transactions, tens of millions of users, 2 million DAU. And then when it comes to open ecosystem, what you see here is an example of Alipay Hong Kong, where Alipay Hong Kong don't just offer payments. Of course, its core business is payments, but it also brings together through the use of mini program framework that they can invite other what I call other partners who are actually focused on lifestyle type of offering, from retail, food and beverages, telecommunications, transport, etc. And actually, it benefited from the usage of Alibaba Cloud. So to give you some context, Alipay Hong Kong have over 3.5 million active users in Hong Kong. Now, this is out of a 7.4 million population, which is quite a significant footprint. So what these partners will do is they'll write their mini apps using the Alipay framework, and then they can simply deploy their offering into the Alipay app itself. And then as the users visit, right, with more than 3 million people visiting on a daily basis, many of whom will actually start to visit some of these mini apps and perform transactions, and then they'll get specific merchant benefits by using, for example, Alipay to finish their payment of the services itself. And here's a great use case of what this all-in cloud actually looks like. So this is Ant Bank in both Hong Kong and also in Singapore. And sorry, let me hide the bar. Okay. All right, I might not try. Okay, and so what you can see here is it uses the vast set of cloud products, from compute to database to network, middleware, storage, security, and of course our big data offering. And in addition, it uses our eKYC as well, and also our AML capability. So what we have here is one of the 8 virtual banks in Hong Kong. And it's also one of the few in Singapore going all in on cloud. And these 2 jurisdictions, it would be fair to say that they're probably one of the strictest in terms of financial regulator in the world. Okay, the other case that I want to share with you is one of the universal banks in Philippines who's done something similar. They haven't got all in on cloud yet, but what they've done is they've put the core banking solutions into our Singapore region. And as you can see here, once again, it's leveraging the way we do multiple data center cross-site resilience. It provides them with scalable architecture that grows or shrinks with their business. And really, it's that guaranteed SLAs with 12 nines, right, in terms of their data storage, that gives them great confidence when it comes to knowing that their infrastructure are managed and are backed by world-class capability from Alibaba Cloud. And then in terms of the network for users that are coming in from Philippines, they barely notice that there's any latency that impacts their user experience. Okay, now we start to get into more what I call application related, and also really the digitalization, how it's impacting the way our own staff and also the way our users, our customers are experiencing this transformation. So 3 types of cases that I want to take you through. One is really around mobile only financing. So through remote account opening, through the use of video-based interaction, what we call video service centers, through giving them a mobile ecosystem, it really allows someone or your customers to do everything on the mobile and basically not having to worry about any form of physical constraint. The second is ThinkTalk, which I mentioned before. And here I just want to share a story with you as well. I'm fortunate enough to be based out of Hong Kong, but I do work very closely with our our Philippines colleagues. And till recent times, many of our new members in the Philippines are not able to physically visit our office, right? So what do you do, right? How do we keep them engaged? How do we keep them, help them become productive? And this is where ThinkTalk comes into play, right? Having an all-in-one platform that allows them to connect with the broader organization, right? Alibaba is, we have over 200,000 people around the world, right? So how do we keep this workforce energized and engaged? So this is where ThinkTalk comes into play. So brings together video conference, online collaboration, be it through just instant messaging, be it through pulling in of working groups, even in terms of project management, managing your calendars, and then even having your business workflows, right? For example, claims, payroll, HR related, leave requests, so on and so forth. So in this day and age, having a product or having a platform like this allows our employees to remain productive, first of all, but also it keeps your data secure, so that people that are not intending to receive these confidential data that gets produced during I guess the way we are doing work remotely now is actually generating a lot more digital working data versus I guess a few years ago. When it comes to intelligent finance, later on I'll take you through how we do, for example, marketing via mobile, how we bring together different data sets, the way we do data governance to derive actionable insights, and then of course, what are some of the things that we're doing in terms of, for example, money laundering or anti-money laundering in terms of our AML platform. Okay, so what you're seeing here now is our eKYC offering. So it's already quite widely used in the Asia region. In Philippines, you'll see a lot more now. We do have some major foreign banks that's gone live. Soon we'll have a major fintech arm of a major local bank in the Philippines that will be launching this as well. So for some of the key takeaways here that I want to share with you is that not only does it significantly reduce manual effort, we also cover a rapidly growing list of international IDs. And in the Philippines, we have 6 to 7 local IDs that we support. It's also used by one of the largest wallets in the Philippines as well when it comes to eKYC. It is a SaaS-based offering that you get results in seconds, as you can see, and it is ultra lightweight. In fact, it's probably the lightest in what I call in Asia. Android or iOS, your SDA packages is no more than 5 megabytes. And that's because we own the technology ourselves. We don't need to rely on any other third parties. So for example, if you open our SDK, you won't find different providers doing OCR, different providers doing facial recognition, etc. And probably one of the greatest achievements here so far is also in the world, there's less than 10 companies who directly own this certificate, which is level 2 certificate of the ISO 30107-3. And this is about facial presentation attack detection. It is a world-class certificate, and as I mentioned before, not many companies own this directly. So even if you have suppliers talking to you, they may say that they have it, but it is likely that they're integrating someone else's facial recognition technology. So what benefit do you get here is that because we own technology ourselves, like all good things about AI, it is not 100% bulletproof, but we have excellent what we call false acceptance, FAR, and false rejection rate, FRR, that you're welcome to inquire with us. And then in terms of our, so as and when you find any form of exceptional cases, which you may find in rare circumstances, we have the ability to investigate with you. We don't need to negotiate with any other third parties. So a lot of our customers do appreciate our rapid turnaround time in terms of investigations, and also where we believe there's a valid case for optimization, we can also action accordingly. And here's just a quick reference in terms of just the user experience that you see. When you use our offering, all we need to do is, for example, using our native SDK, you just need to do 2 actions. One is take a photo of the ID, it will trigger a flash, and then you do a blink of an eye, and that's it, you're done. Some of our competitors, they do multiple shots of the ID, and you have to blink your eye and also open your mouth. Now, there are companies out there who will tell you that the more actions you do, the more accurate it is, or the better the results. We believe it's categorically false. It's purely down to how good is your algorithm, because I think the better algorithm that you have, the less data points that you need in terms of confirming whether this result is a good result. So we do spend a lot of time optimizing our user experience, and for one good reason is that in many of the markets that we're operating in, including the Philippines, we cannot expect all of our users to have high quality handsets and also really good and stable network environment. So we need to allow our EcoIC to operate in the harshest environment possible, but also allow our users to complete the EcoIC in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of mandatory actions. Okay, quickly moving on. As an extension of EcoIC, what we're starting to see as well in the nearby markets, in fact, both Philippines and Hong Kong and Singapore, is that using video-based to do what we call higher risk type of transactions. So for example, selling insurance or selling wealth management kind of offering, to be able to, again, allow users to, through a mobile phone, to be able to interact with their relationship management teams, and to have the entire journey recorded, because what our customers are concerned about is, of course, when it comes to remote selling, the risk of mis-selling is something that everyone would like to mitigate. So we do have a video service center that allows recording to start as soon as the relationship manager and that you see here, and also the customer who starting the conversation. And the left hand side you see is the perspective from the customer, and then the right hand side is the what we call the relationship or the agent desktop. So some customers have also been rolling this out not just to the relationship workforce, but they've also rolled it out to the call center to maximize any form of upsell opportunity during a customer service call. Okay, so next I'll take you through our super app platform. So where did it came from, right? It came from building up of Alipay. So since 2008, we've been building Alipay for now close to 12 to 13 years now. So what we've done effectively is we have extracted the best of Alipay and we've turned it into a development framework and a development platform called Mobile Platform as a Service. So you can think of it as something like you've taken all the modules of Alipay and then you're able to start to plug and play with it. So we offer you a whole host of client front-end capability. We support multiple framework that cuts across our native, web-based H5, mini program framework. We also have a set of UIs that you can use if you want to. You don't have to, it's up to you. And then all of the capability is released through a set of SDKs that all you need to do is to integrate, of course, integrate it into your own app environment, and then switch on the what we call the middle end, which is based on our SaaS offering. That's one option that you can see. But we also have an on-premise offering as well that allows we sell it as a software to deploy onto your own environment. So we offer a hybrid mode as well. What it covers is that for you to build your own app, then you don't have to build everything from scratch, right? So what you can do is you can make use of our ability to do analytics. You can make use of our ability to do mobile in-app notification. For example, if you're pushing to Google today, if you're pushing to Apple today, and you may have a set of audience that are using machines that are from, for example, some of the mainland manufacturers, such as the Xiaomi, the Oppo of the world, of the likes. What our push services can push to these devices directly, so you can actually bypass Android, so that you get the most direct push notification connectivity. And you can also do things like content delivery. So, for example, some of the regulators starts to like to say, how do you use fintech to offer hyper personalization experience? And the likes of Alipay really gives you that hyper personalization experience. It's because what I can do is I can, based off the way we've analyzed this particular user, and by the way, the way we analyze is not related to the personal data. All the analytics is done from an MPAS perspective. All they know is this is a user. This is a user of MPAS. There's no personal data involved. It knows how long you've spent in the app. It knows where you have navigated. It knows where you have dropped off, for example, when you're opening an account, for example. And then based on all these different types of behavior.
Sorry for that, Gary.
It's okay.
It's actually the cue that it's last 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem. I like that music.
It was a very funny music.
No problem. So,
sorry to cut you off. 5 minutes.
It's okay. I'll continue. I'll wrap up in 5 minutes. So
sure.
So with this, it allows our customers to quickly build up their own app to make use of financial grade security services quickly. And if you don't want to built from scratch from the framework. What we also offer is Alibaba Plus, which is our digital wallet that also leverages the same MPAS framework. And of course, it's a lot more white labeled. It's a lot more ready-made. But of course, you still need to integrate that into your own existing environment. So you got sort of two levels of services to choose from. Quickly, Jazz has talked a lot about AI and big data, so I'm going to go straight into the use cases. Here's just a quick reference how one of the leading regional digital banks have used our data-driven tools to drive decisions that allows them to do what we call 3 and 0 model, which is take someone 3 minutes to apply, 1 second to disperse a loan with 0 human intervention. So whilst we don't sell the risk frameworks, but we have the right tools and services in place that allows you to use our decision engines, our data mart, that can take in different internal data sources and external data sources in order to formulate your own decision engine capability, such that you can go through the entire loan and credit management process with a large degree of automation, and also being able to do things like, for example, A/B tests, credit management, so on and so forth. Here's just a quick recap on the another major Philippines digital wallet who's used our suite of fintech solutions such as eKYC, MPAS, Alipay Plus, but have also used our big data solutions such as our Max Compute and also eMapReduce. So it allows them during COVID period, it really helped them to scale at that time. One is ability to work with their data. The other one is really around the ability to continue to open accounts or allow our users to open account. But at the same time, because they're sitting on our cloud infrastructure, they don't really have to worry about the infrastructure scalability. Okay, at the end of it, I just want to share with you that the way Alibaba Cloud looks at research and development is that we don't just research for the sake of researching. We want to research to empower the way we can better use fintech, and it's through the use of our machine intelligence capability, our blockchain capability, that many people might not know that we actually have the most patents in the world for the last 4 years. And of course, we have a suite of Internet of Things offering, from dummy devices to POS devices, etc. And we are launching as well our latest offering for our anti-money laundering platform. So it's widely used in our global financial services landscape. The way we do sanctions tracking as well. Sanction screening is also it's multilingual. It takes in information from WorldCheck as well. It can also take in information for your own existing blacklisting. So again, it covers sanctions, transaction monitoring, and also customer risk rating management. We offer this as a SaaS offering in our Hong Kong region for sanctions tracking, and then for the rest of the components, we can also offer that as a software private deployment. Okay, and just to finish up, Alibaba Cloud used to be known as a cloud infrastructure provider. Hopefully today I'm able to share with you many of our customer journeys that we've done together with our customers around the region, in the Philippines as well, because we are now doing a lot more in terms of putting forward our fintech capability so that you have our industry expertise that we can help you in, whether it's about building your mobile platform for external use or internal use, whether it's about leveraging our financial grade distributed architecture in terms of our database capability, in terms of our multiple data centers capability, our Asia first cloud computing landscape, our Dharma Academy financials intelligence capability, the way we can help you to do better risk management in terms of lending, for example, the way we can help you do eKYC and really keep the business, keep the lights on, and also in terms of our world-leading blockchain capability as well. Okay, so I know time's up. So if there's any questions, please do let the team know, and hopefully we can help you to make it easy for Philippines, especially in the journey towards open banking and financial inclusion. Thank you very much.